Kakakaku magazine and their website posted a awesome little interview with Takara-Tomy designer Takashi Kunihiro. He's known for a lot of stuff in Transformers. What I know him for is he's the guy behind Hot Rod. That's one of the things that I know of him. Mm-hmm. But he's done a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of movie stuff. He's done a lot of Masterpiece stuff. He's done a lot of, Micron stuff. He's been all over the place. And what was cool about the interview is they were pretty much breaking down, and the whole interview was actually kind of spawned because we have like all the studio series stuff that's coming out in Japan, and so they're kind of like discussing and revisiting some of those older toys and everything. So they're talking about specifically the Jetwing Optimus Prime from Dark of the Moon, and just talking about how the designs, they always, evolve throughout the production and everything. And he mentions how when you go really far back and you go to the likes of even the 2007 stuff, it just gets to a point where it's like when they were first designing the toys, mm-hmm. they were basing it off of early design concept art. Yeah. And he said that because the Transformer characters were CG and they were usually something that was the last thing added to the production. They do all the recording of the movie, the actual action scenes, the acting, all of that, and then the CG's put last. And they were saying how, by the time they get to that stage of the CG, if they want to tweak something like change the head sculpt or change the head design or change this or change that, they could do that. But the problem is Takara already has molded and casted and created the toys based off of those concept arts.
Yeah, exactly.
And he points out that's the primary reason why Bumblebee had this like evolution of toys where you look at that first old Camaro and you look at the face on it. Well, just the faces specifically. Brutal. And same thing, like you look at the 2007 Camaro and you look at the face on it and you go like, wow, that really looks nothing yeah. like ultimately what was in the movie. And then all the toys that would come afterwards from Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon that would be more accurate. Mm-hmm. Again, they were the primary reason for that because they were basing it off of old concept art that obviously evolved. And then he made another comment that really made me smile because I've always talked about this a lot, especially if you're someone who listens to the podcast when it relates to the movie. He mentioned how when they were designing Brawl, they thought that Brawl was going to be a big deal in the movie. Mm-hmm. So they made him the leader class toy in 2007, and along with Megatron and Optimus. Mm-hmm. And then after seeing the movie, they saw how Bone Crusher was a lot more in focus, really. And he says that in retrospective, I would have made Bone Crusher the leader class toy. And I'm like, yes, because again, we've discussed this a lot, how that's a character that needs a bigger toy, because that was a character that's just had that deluxe toy, and that was it. Just that deluxe scale, and of course, obviously the Legends, like it just got smaller. Yeah. But yet here was a character that like went toe to toe with Optimus in the movie, and it was the trailer character.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was cool to kind of like for him to like say like, yeah, so that's kind of what happened. Like we thought one thing was going to be like this, and then another. And then he said there were similar kind of hiccups when they were working on Revenge of the Fallen. He was mentioning how, again, when that first Optimus toy came out, as in the 2007 one, again based off of the concept art, they looked at the movie, to the 2007 movie, and where you had that arrival of the Autobot scene where they're transforming and every little intricate piece is being shown transforming, and him going like, oh, that's impossible, we can't do this, we can't do that. So when they revisited doing a leader class Optimus again for Revenge of the Fallen, they used it as an excuse to this time do it right, not just to because they could have easily, and they said they could have easily just reissued the Optimus Prime toy from 2007, but because there was such a huge change from the concept art to the final product, they could use the Revenge of the Fallen toy this time as an excuse to then make a new toy. And on top of that, because now Jetfire was going to be part of the combination, even more of an excuse to now twist and turn and make stuff work out.
That was something I really dug about this article, is that I was very happy and was very glad to know that they're always trying to improve Prime's movie toy. Like, they're not just like, yeah, we could just put out whatever we did the first one. That's good enough. Like, they're always aware of what they can do, and they can always improve on what came before. So that shows a lot of pride in their work and what they're doing.
Well, they seem to really care about, like, you know, if they make something and it doesn't look accurate, it actually bothers them. You know, like they feel like they've let down the fans. And I mean, he even goes on to say, like, if you want probably the most accurate movie Prime, and this is from them, so this is like, you know, the God's word. You know, everyone has their own favorite movie Optimus Prime toy.
Yeah.
But according to them, they say that the MPM-04 Optimus Prime, which is the masterpiece one, they claim that it has the most accurate transformation compared to, like, what's on screen. They feel that the transformation of that one, which is more based on the Revenge of the Fallen Optimus toy, is what's more accurate to what's going on the screen. I guess referring to, like, when you watch on screen him transforming, and, you know, how the different toys have their own ways of going from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And again with this interview, there's a whole bunch of photos showing, like, you know, the comparisons of, like, here's 2007 Prime with 2009 Prime, the Revenge of the Fallen, showing him with the leader class Jetfire and the ball joints and everything. So really, it's a really interesting interview. I'm going to link it in the description because
definitely worth the read.
Yeah, it's because it really gives you a good insight on the evolution. And sometimes, because I mean, I've always talked about how a lot of the movie toys went through evolutions, and, like, you know, you look at those old 2007 toys, whether it be Barricade, Ironhide, Bumblebee, and then you look at the Revenge of the Fallen ones, the Dark of the Moon ones, and then moving forward to Studio Series and the Masterpiece MPM stuff, and how, you know, they really didn't get it right the first time. And sometimes you have a question. You're like, well, why didn't they get it right the first time? Did they do that on purpose? And it kind of clears it up here because, I mean, they just talk about Optimus specifically and Brawl, but, I mean, the reality is that this probably was a general issue across the board. You know, I'm pretty sure this was an issue with Barricade. I'm pretty sure this was an issue with even, like, with the fact, like, with Jolt, who just kind of shows up at the end. Yeah. You know.
Oh, hey, I need to be. You need a defibrillator? I'm good.
Well, there you go. Good. Bye. So, like, I'm pretty sure, like, that's something that's very common across the board with a lot of these guys. So it's really cool. Otherwise, I mean, there's a lot going on here in this interview, so it's definitely worth a read, and a lot of in between the line stuff too, but really awesome stuff. And Takashi, just, I mean, I got to meet him in person at HasCon, and he's a super friendly, cool dude. Oh, that's cool. And he signed my, I brought two things to get signed. I have, like, my lithographs that I always get signed of, like, you know, when a creator's there, I make a list of everything that they created, and I put, you know, the picture of them with their name. But I also got him to sign my hot rod, my G1 hot rod, right on the spoiler. So he's a pretty cool dude. So. But yeah, definitely check out this interview. You'll definitely learn a lot about movie toys and the evolution of it.